Welcome to Sonderling Inc. episode 34. I'm Sam Leonard. I'm your GM. I have some players.
I am Vosk, playing Vergers, the High Elf Sorcerer.
Zerder, you're up.
I thought you said up.
Nope.
Down.
You said up, but I'm sort of playing Grunthos, the Kobold Ranger.
I'll just go. Eastbourne, I'm playing the Goblin Wizard called Striggs.
I'm Hologol playing the human fighter called Hologol.
And we have a new player starting this week. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Dragon. I'm playing the druid named.
Yeah, pretty much. All right. Who would like to recap what happened last time?
I vote Zerder.
I mean, I can as well.
You could do this time.
All right. So what happened last time? You guys got into town. You had a bunch of stuff to sell. You found found the place that you're supposed to drop off the stuff that was not quite legal necessarily, and did that. And then you went around, found somebody to buy the lumber. Started going about town, talking to not nice parts, like sticking your nose where it may not have belonged, asking for a certain half elf, or after a certain half elf's former spy master, who nobody would admit knowing, and you pretty much got the cold shoulder about once you started mentioning it. I think you went to a library at some point and learned a couple things. I'm not 100% sure about that point. And then,
We did indeed, but I didn't gain much from it.
And then you went back to your lodgings, which is in the immigrant from the southern continents, not taco shop, kebab shop. Spent the week, I think 5 days there, back and forth, wandering around town, trying to find out things, not learning very much. And then Hollock had a small interloper in the party. And what day is it today? I think the 17th of Ruby?
It says 18th early evening for me, but might be wrong.
18th of Ruby sounds accurate. All right. So, Hollock, you were preparing for bed. Heard a noise behind you on the bed. The rooms are like, they're bigger than a coffin, but only because they're taller, sort of sized. Everybody has their own room, so you heard a noise behind you on the bed, and you see a half elf woman, young, probably to you appears to be mid to early 20s, and she basically says to you, I hear you're asking about dangerous things. At the same moment, anybody who had an alarm set up, their alarm goes off. So, yeah, it mentally or whatever, like
That's
all
also
of
bell.
them. Yeah, well, the spell, but like
Yep.
all of them. If you put
Bell
one,
has a bell, like
Ah.
that's ringing for everyone that's in. Can hear it basically. But yeah,
So I think it was Grunthos set up multiples.
No. Strix put up multiple.
Ah, well, Striggs, all of your alarms are going off.
Yeah, I put a lot of alarms. Okay, so I guess everyone wakes up since I put them everywhere in the hallway and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get up and get myself clothes quickly, some of my weapons and stuff, and I'll head out to where it's coming from. Or triggered.
You're not getting a direction other than they were all triggered simultaneously.
Oh, great. So, is there anything in my room where on the door that I have my alarm on?
Give me a
Someone here?
perception check.
Perception check.
Or Arcana, actually. Arcana would also work.
Well, that's gonna be better.
15, Arcana. Something magically tripped them. There's no like person here.
Great. Well, I'll head out and check the hallway if there's any traces of anything.
The hallway is empty.
I'll just go one by one to my friends' rooms.
Hollock, you hear the commotion in the hallway of the alarm spells going off. You hear Striggs enter the hallway, start knocking on rooms. Everybody else is awoken by this as well, and you all are familiar with the ringy bell. What that means.
I'm on the way out into the hall, pointy stick at the.
All right, you arrive in the hall about the same moment that Striggs enters the hall, pointy stick in hand. Well, Striggs doesn't have the pointy, but you understand. You know what I mean. Vosk, you are there as well. Probably, woken up in your room.
Yep. Yep.
Hollock, what are you doing?
I think I will grab the nearest weapon I can find and tell the lady, I am not looking, I am guarding the people looking.
She looks at your, like, she is not at all fluffed by you holding the weapon. Like, she's not. This doesn't. It's not that it doesn't. It's beneath her. How do I want to put this? Like, she doesn't see you as a threat in any sort of sense, and she kind of tilts her head slightly and says, "Oh, well then, can you please introduce me to the one looking?"
I think they will be here shortly. And I yell, here, inside.
All right, you guys all hear Hollock.
I go in with spell ready for if something wrong is in his room, because he sounded like he could be in trouble.
So you enter his room, looking past Hollock. You see a small half-elf woman, again, young adult, maybe 20, 25, very tired looking eyes. And she raises an eyebrow at you. Striggs and Grunthos sees you out in the hallway and she says, perhaps you are the ones he is guarding then.
Yeah, we're kind of a group.
She chuckles. Most friends are. But please, nobody has explained yet why you are looking for dangerous. Why are you? How do I put this? Why you are dropping dangerous names in dangerous places?
I have forgotten the name of the ruler of Kirsch.
The name of the ruler of Kirsch is Magda the dragon.
We're on a mission, errand from Magda to try and find Lifal.
Her face like becomes wooden. Like loses all expression. Her eyes harden. She narrows them at you and stands up from the bed. Like there's barely enough room in these rooms to walk around the bed. And she deftly moves past you, Hollock. Like you see her coming up past you, and she ducks around you basically before you can react, and she leans down, kind of gets down on your level, Striggs, and says, "So why did that bint send you after me?"
Sorry, the bent?
Bint, Bint. It's not a very nice word.
Yeah, I didn't catch the last part because I had a phone call. Sorry.
Basically asking why Magda sent you after Lephalis, or rather her, implying that she is Lephalis.
Yep. Well, she told us that there was Lephalis that would be somewhat pulling the strings here in the city. Would be the most smart person to contact to get something done.
We are raising armies to assault and finally try and take the city of Ook. We need all the men and help we can get.
And woman.
She looks at all of you, like standing back up. She works her way out into the hallway and looks at all of you and says, "Why would she think that?" And then she looks down at something on her belt. Could I get an Arcana roll from anybody who wants to roll Arcana?
Can I make it a 10 plus the 7 of my Arcana I have?
Sure.
17.
All right. 15's good enough. 10 probably doesn't get, it's magical. That's what you get with a 10. She looks at something on her belt. It's like vibrating, glowing a little bit. And then she looks up at you, and says, "Who are you?" And shakes her head a little bit and then says, "Follow me." And she takes a ring out of you're not exactly sure where. She it just appears in her hand. She puts it on the ring finger of her right hand, and you all are no longer where you were. If anybody doesn't want to go on a little teleport ride, I would like you to roll willpower.
Is it Dimension Door?
Teleport.
Oh, well, I don't know about that one.
Will save is what I'm asking.
But I do, so I don't care.
I like mysteries, so I'm coming with you.
Fair enough.
By the way, I didn't catch her name. How?
Her name. She has implied that her name is Lyphalis, which you guys have been looking for. She is a former spy master for the Kingdom of Kartuk, and is a half elf, but in the 250 to 300-year-old range, which doesn't make much sense. because half elves live, 100 maybe.
Hmm.
All right, anybody resisting?
I'm going along, pointy stick and all.
All right. So you all feel the teleport take hold. As you are like there's that split moment where you're where you were, and you hear a sound from behind you, and you are in a room that is 15 feet by 30 feet. There is a pile of like detritus on the floor, just old rotten stuff. This room is as you appear, sconces around the room light up with some sort of magical torch. And there is a hand on the floor behind probably who would be the furthest. Probably Striggs would have been the furthest away from her. So behind you, Striggs, there is a hand of rotten flesh that is like, if it was attached to a human, or if it like it's at the height that if a human was reaching out from behind you to try to grab you, it would be, and as like the spell resolves, it drops to the floor and like starts finger walking towards you.
Great. Can I cast Mage Armor?
Yep. That is an action. You still have a move. This room is 15 by 30.
Can I use the bonus and movement and stuff to call out Lephalis and what is this here? And I point at the hand. Do nothing else.
All right. You say that. She flicks a knife from her side, from probably you figure from her belt, and it stabs through the thing into the floor, pinning it in place. It's still like trying to crawl, like finger crawl forward, but it's like captured by the knife in the ground. And she goes, "That is why we had to leave so suddenly. And who the hell are you?" Pointing at a person none of you recognize inside this room as well. That's your cue, dragon.
Me? Well, I'm me. Well,
You're the one that's in the room.
So,
Who are you?
I'm gonna do a quick. Well, I don't even do a sideboard. You guys all we pull back 30 seconds cinematically. You Earth are standing in a forest clearing. Your owner, master, the person who owns your name, has called you here to be here at this time. You're not certain why. And they sidle up to you, say, you remember what we've been talking about? The person you need to find, the person you need to help?
I have it here in my notes. So yes.
Fair enough. They smile at you and says, "Very well. They will be teleporting momentarily, and I would like you to join them. So step this way, and as you step forward, you step through what feels like either dimension door or similar. You're not 100% sure, but you step through and are in amongst, let's see, there is a goblin, an elf, human, a half elf, and a kobold. And you sense a connection to the human, and Hollock, you sense a familiarity about this new person, that like you can tell that they are linked to the Fae in kind of the same way you are. Not 100% the same, but kind of similar. So anyway, you have small half elf lady looking at you, daggers in hand, and daggers from eyes.
I was tasked to be here, Dagger Lady.
She kind of lets out a sigh of frustration. This day, I believe, will never end. All right, follow me. Figure out what's going on. Why the inn we were all in happened to be the place where the undead decided to just follow me.
What?
Yeah, just follow me. She heads out. There is a moderately long hallway. As she walks forward, like sconces light with magical light. She heads down this hall, turns left down a set of stairs. As you guys were following, those of you who choose to follow along behind her, see I guess you call it a jail cell at the end of this hall. It's clean, like there's nobody or nothing in it. The door is open. You
Do I see anything on the walls or the ceiling or the floors?
So floors are worked stone, like fitted stone. The walls are the same. The ceiling is similar, although it's like got great wooden beams across it that look to be supporting the stone above.
Do I have the impression that I'm still on the same planet, or
No. Give me an Arcana roll.
You mean realm?
Or realm, sure.
Oh,
That's pretty good. You are like, this feels like a teleport that didn't go anywhere too esoteric. It felt like a teleport, not like a plane shift or anything like that.
not a different dimension, or so? Just teleporting from one room to a different room. That's
Right.
what you meant.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So she heads down a set of stairs. You guys, as you follow along behind her, So you follow along behind her. These are like wooden stairs, and as you get to the bottom of the stairs, this place opens up into a bigger space, maybe 40 feet by 40 feet. There is kind of a like throne rugs on the floor. There's a not lit fireplace in the back of the room. You see like a shelf of books, a small table, A couple of comfortable chairs, lit fairly well by the like sconces around the room. As she like gets down, she turns around as you guys get down behind her. She says, "Welcome to my lair, I guess."
Can I light the fire?
There's sure.
Fireplace, right?
Yes, there's fireplace, there's wood in it.
There we go. Pressurization, lit fire.
Yep, fire lights. There is a draft of air going up, like you can feel kind of what you do with a normal fire. So the heat pulls the air up, and there's definitely like this place isn't sealed. There's definitely air moving around inside of here. Nothing obvious. Like, no obvious doors though. So you guys came through. There was this 15 by 30 foot room that you arrived in. You went through a door down a hallway. At the end of the hallway was a maybe 10 foot by 10 foot cell with a door across it. Turned around, went down a set of stairs. You believe this entire room is basically the size of the cell and the original room, maybe a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller, but that would be a give me your investigate for Juros.
I'm asking the right questions. Ooh.
She appears to have a normal number of teeth for a half elf.
It's an important question.
So she looks at the assembled motley crew and says, so who are you and why did you want to find me? And who is attacking you?
Attacking us?
I
You mean the
am
hand?
Gruntos, captain of the Knight's Tale. We are, with exception of this thing pointing at Earth, we are the Sonderling Inc. We have
Okay.
we have been tasked in helping to clear out the city of Ook of undead once and for all.
A noble goal.
Magda has pledged her assistance with armies for distractions, but we need more. A lot more. Kirsch cannot field enough people to do this alone.
I mean, you're not wrong. Although I am surprised Magda thought that I would be willing to help. She doesn't know me as well as she thinks she does. But Sonderling Inc. Might I know of your crew from? I mean, you have yourself a name. You trade? You're a trading company? Are you a adventuring party, as it were?
Adventuring party. If you've gotten news from Auckland,
I have
you
news
might
from
have
everywhere.
heard of us. We fairly recently helped rid the world of an iron seeker.
She like blinks a couple times, walks over to the table in the room, looks down at the like there's like sheafs of paper. Orklin. She plucks out one of them, and so she has a single sheet of paper that she holds like a book, and then she flips the page like a book, and she still has one sheet of paper, and she flips the page. and she's reading for a little bit and says, Sonderling Inc. You're the ones. You're the ones who took what was the name of the vessel? The Bright Sail.
Technically, we did not take it, we salvaged it.
She kind of rubs her forehead. Fair. You made a lot of people very mad, by the way. Some people are looking for that ship still.
I think we did a good job by leaving it at some other place from here before coming.
That was...
Wait,
I say out loud.
I just say, wait, our ship is called the Knight's Tale.
Yes, your ship is called the Knight's Tale. That is wonderful. It is also called the Bright Sail.
Why didn't nobody say that to me?
She chuckles. All right, so adventuring party, adventuring group, is probably the most accurate thing to call you. You men and people of... You just kind of wander around, isn't it? I've hired your type before. She just takes like a very deep breath. Her eyes look even more tired than they did when you first saw her.
Do you need someone you need to hire?
I mean, no. Unless you can take care of the elves for me. I do not need to hire an adventuring party. The problem I've run into the past with your type is you solve problems in very, very messy ways.
The problem we've been tasked to solve needs a very, very, very messy solution.
But still orderly done.
You're not
Well, hey,
wrong.
we're not a tactician group, so I don't know what you're expecting.
She like touches the page. Anybody here read Elven? Who all here reads Elven?
I do.
Me.
I do.
Okay. For those of you reading Elven, could I get your could I get you to give me a perception check, please?
Oh wait, it doesn't matter.
Vergeros. Good job. Vergeros.
Gruntus as well.
Oh yeah, Grunthos as well. So you guys see in a very like neat handwriting written on here. Hold on. You see mentions of your like as she's like flipping the page, you can read the stuff on the backside that's like not covered by her hand. You see mentions in very neat handwriting, and then like not very neat handwriting, but it's all in Elven of Sonderling, like will have a title, Sonderling Inc, and then it'll have text underneath it. And as she's like flipping, her eyebrows are going up. And she kind of gives you all a very serious like look. This includes Earth.
Can you read exactly what is on the page?
So it looks like dispatches or like, so what you see is somebody writing, Sonderling Inc. arrived at this date in Orkland on their ship, proceeded to go to X, like the snorting boar, small dragonling got completely soused, no activity other than that. Like moderately,
It's like a report.
moderately
A report
detailed.
of what we are doing.
Yeah, it's like a report of what you're doing. There are definitely gaps in the report. Even when you're like in a city, it'll be a couple of days gap. Probably none of her agents, whoever they might have been, saw you, noticed you. But like, Grunthos, you are mentioned by name. Verdros, you're mentioned but less often. Striggs, you're mentioned by name at least once in Kirsch.
Ooh, interesting.
But like she starts flipping back and she like you see Hollick's name, and then she starts flipping, she like touches her thing again, and then she starts flipping backwards through her page of book or book of page. And Hollick's name appears like so the name appears without Sonderling Inc. associated with it.
I know this.
Do I have the feeling that she's communicating with someone when she touches a thing?
Give me Arcana. See if you can see what spell's being done here. Detect magic, it's magical. Let me see.
Transformation, I guess, or
It is
transmutation magic, I presume.
transmutation doesn't seem quite right. What sort of magic gives you divination is what it is, actually.
Oh, it's my magic.
So it's divination, like strongly divination. Verdros, what she's doing, for your human brain, not your character's brain, for human brain, think of it like she's wiki walking. So she has
What?
wiki walking. So she has a very, you're getting the impression that she has a very extensive group of something that gives her information, and then she can click on, or not click on, but she can touch keywords, and all of the things that are associated with that information are then on her sheet.
Wikipedia walking is basically what you meant.
Ah, okay. Now I understand what you mean.
All right.
She's using Google search.
Kind of magical. Think magical equivalent. She's got. You don't have your spy here, but you guys have been around him enough to know that if you have a large group of people feeding you information, there's more information than you can collate.
Yeah.
So she basically, all of this information kind of collates in this same place, and she has access to it through this book. It's not exactly a book. It looks like a sheet of paper. Eventually she closes her hand, and she has this sheet of paper in her hand. It's full sheet of paper. She has a sheet of paper in her hand, and her hand is open, and she flips it. And it's like if you were holding a book, it would flip over here, sort of thing. But she just flips it. It's in the same side of her hand. And then she closes her hand, and the page goes blank. And she,
Have I seen something like this in the library before where I worked at? Or in the
you have not to your knowledge. This is very, very powerful. You guys have had some pretty good, decent rolls. Like you can feel the iron woven into and through this thing. This thing uses divination magic to look at things that are associated with it. So the impression you have, like watching her use it and watching it go, there are hundreds or thousands of books and tablets and things spread out that if you write in them, then that information can be found by this sheet.
That's a very interesting sheet of paper, I say.
She smiles at.
She's using it like an index.
Yeah, yes. She smiles. Yes, an index is accurate enough. It is keyed to my, I guess you would call it soul. So stealing it would do you no good and would only set me back the time to have another one made.
I just found it interesting.
She offers it out if one of you magical types wants to take a look at it.
Oh yeah, definitely. I want to study.
Yeah, me too, actually.
So you hold it in your hand, and it is, for everything you can tell without like magically looking at it, a plain ordinary sheet of paper. Like there's nothing written on it, there's nothing other than it is heavily magical. There's nothing special about this sheet of paper.
Can I course divination magic through it?
Sure. Spend a spell slot, whatever spell slot you want to spend, and give me an Arcana roll.
Level 4 and Arcana roll. Can I make it a fixed roll with the divination roll?
What is your fixed roll?
12 plus 7 for Arcana, so that's 19.
19. All right. What you get is like in your mind's eye a picture of a book with 1,000,000 pages. Like what you see is a library in a sheet of paper. You can't you're focusing your mind through your magic on trying to see what is written on this paper, and you know that there is something written on these pages, and you are unable to bring them into focus. Like a nearsighted person who is seated like 100 feet away from an eye chart. You can see that you can tell there's an eye chart there, but no matter how hard you squint and how hard you scrunch and how hard you try, you cannot bring the eye chart into focus because it's just your eyes are not your mind's eye is not capable of resolving this.
It's very interesting. There's a big book in there. When I hand the paper off to Vergeros.
I think I see the same. Just a sheet of paper with a lot of magic on it.
Yep. See, it's just a sheet of paper with a lot of magic on it. Like, this sheet of paper is not as powerful as, say, Holix or Grunthos' spear, but it's not far from there. It's not an artifact. You think that if you were to destroy it, you could just, destroy it. You wouldn't have to summon a demon and put it in the hellfire. No weird thing that you would need to do to destroy it. But it is not an artifact, but it's close. Maybe what might be considered maybe a minor artifact.
Do I know anything about it from my magical note?
You have never encountered this specific, if this specific thing, nobody's written about this specific thing. This is a very personal object. You get the feeling this is a very personal object, and It's not something that is a common, like, you've never heard of this sort of device.
Okay. Yeah, just I was thinking I could know more about Lifalis that way if I read about it or heard about it.
No, what you've gotten about her from history is she was a very effective spy master for Kartuk who kind of came from nowhere, became the spy master, married her husband who became the like commander in chief of the Kartuk army. They acted until his death of not exactly old age, but basically old age, about 80, 85, somewhere in there. And then she kind of disappeared. And this was 200-ish years ago.
Interesting. I hand her the sheet back.
When you hand her the sheet back, you notice that as she touches it, like, there is a small section on the front of it that, like, fills with ink, I guess would be the best way to describe it. And it's like the size of a finger or thumbprint, and she sets the page back on her. Like, when she releases the thing and sets it back on her table, it fades out, and it's again a sheet of paper. And she like sits back, like seats her butt against the table, and like crosses her arms in front of you, and kind of has that, like, looking at you, debating what to do with you sort of expression on her face. And kind of looks around. I says, I suppose if I just sent you all back to where I found you, you would continue to ask around about me?
Of course.
Depends.
The thing I hate most
Depends
about
on-
adventurers. Persistence.
Depends on your willingness to help us. Or
There are simpler ways to discover your identity.
Well, she kind of eyebrows at the eyebrows at you, Earth. It's like, it's the thing I like the least about adventurers is your persistence. But yes. So you want me to raise an army to fight an undead on a continent half a continent away when I haven't even gotten done conquering this one yet?
Wait,
yes.
I just want to ask her in between something. Wait, how old are you again? Because I'm 50, and you don't look an age older than me do. But what we found is a little bit different.
I am, and she does some calculations. I need to bring up a timeline here.
I'll grab an abacus from my side and give it to her.
Okay. That is the proper term. I was born in the year 6210 after Jet.
Yeah, that's quite old.
Thanks.
I mean,
you have a lot of experience.
Some of it good, some of it bad. The first time I ran into a group of you types, they killed me. So I don't have the strongest love for those of you who call themselves adventurers.
what do you mean killed you? You're right here, right? Do I sense any necrotic energy coming from her?
I
I mean, I cast detect magic before, which
So, what? Hold, please. I need to look up rules.
Good job, Strix.
Hey,
do.
maybe she's an agent for the fucking guy we're trying to kill.
So she's not undead. That much is
Okay.
obvious.
Yeah.
And she's not under something like a false life or. I can spell. R comes after M.
She's special. She's special.
She is. You can sense a very faint aura of transmutation about her. Knowledge, religion.
Just
Everyone
straight-
or only Strix?
With this line of questioning, and if you have some magical aptitude, Strig, both of you can.
Religion, right?
Yep, religion.
I love my bonuses on intelligence.
Ooh, that was a bad roll.
Nothing for you, Verdros. Strigs, you may have come across one other person, maybe two in your life, who has been brought back from the dead with something along the lines of reincarnation or resurrection or that sort of thing.
Okay.
She
Resurrection. Must have cost a pretty penny.
She smiles at you. I guess in a sense, it cost me my army. It cost me my peoples. The druid who brought me back was very insistent upon me finding a new life. Druid would be reincarnate, not resurrect. So,
kind of.
Don't know how much you would know about that.
Libraries, though. Do libraries have information about
Reincarnation? Yeah, you would have probably come across it.
at college? It's magic.
Yeah. So reincarnation, for our resident druid and the magical amongst you, is a way to bring somebody back from the dead a little bit more cheaply than, say, a full reincarnate. You have to have a body, you have to have a willing soul, and they need to be, the same person, the body and that willing soul. What reincarnate does is it takes that soul and pulls it back into the body. In the process, though, the body is reborn, and can change gender, can change race. Theoretically, you could start off as a human and come back as a badger. Generally, though, you come back, like, if you're a human, you have a really, really good chance of coming back as a human, but you might, come back as a half-elf or an elf or a half-orc or an orc. That sort of thing. But it's like a lower level magic than reincarnate is.
Got it.
And has fewer restrictions on the ability of it to be cast. Yes.
Well,
So yes, I would say it's rather costly. I before this form, I was a great general in the Elven army, and a group of people calling themselves adventurers, a druid, a bard, a ranger, decided that they didn't like the city they were living in being taken over by elves, and, murdered me. Well, I guess not murdered me, it was combat. Apparently, she kind of waves her hand around. Apparently, they owned this place. They called it the Necromancer's Folly. I never did get the story of that. or how the dragon that gave me this ring got the ring from them. But here I am. You found my secret lair. I'd be amazed if you could get here without me. And I have a group that are putting my name back on the lips of those who haven't heard it in a century. And may ruin plans that I had if my name is passed around too much. Because, well, people who are older than I know who I am, or who I was, and if they hear that I'm around again, may be guessing at what I want to do.
I'm sorry about that.
I won't blame you. I'm gonna blame Magda for this. She should know better. She should keep her long nose out of the affairs of others. Controlling.
Did she know that you died or something, or?
She was the one who helped the druid bring me back.
Oh.
Her and her daughter.
So technically, she's the reason that you're still alive.
Yes and no. She supplied the means for the druid to do to do her work. I believe the druid wanted to do it anyway and would have found another way to bring me back. But
Are you good friends of yours?
They were the ones who killed me. I wouldn't call them friends. I think they thought I had to redeem myself for my past sins.
Do we know them?
Probably not. I mean, you've heard of the great savant Seville.
Yes.
Then you have heard of one of them. He was partner to Brody the Ranger, and I just forgot her name. Oh no, I just have it here. Hold on. There we go. Zethar, the druid. I think that half-elf druid put me in this form on purpose. I don't actually think she could have. But either way.
So it would help you if you would stop asking questions about you.
Yes. And you want an army raised?
I think we can manage to help each other, no?
Perhaps. Depends on how much you like elves. You see...
Seeing that I am an elf.
Oh, I love elves. I don't like armies though. Armies are no good. They are far too destructive to the environment.
She smiles. If you, so, I mean, I might as the thing I've learned in my long life is tell enough of the truth to get what you want from people, and they won't ask you too many more questions. So
You might be wrong about that.
fair enough. The only land on this coast that is unaligned with any other is the Kartuk elves. Kirsch, Magda has her own thing, and a lot of people live in Kirsch, but they do not fight me. They just want to trade with me. Kartuk,
They leave you alone.
or not Kartuk, Lakshank, sorry. The Lakshank elves. Reverse that, strike it, reverse it. The Lakshank elves, which live in this forest here. Verdros, Earth, you would recognize that as the home of the elves on this continent, possibly that where you're from, if you're from the home of the elves on this continent. But they are the greatest threat to stability, I would say, peace, trade, the betterment of man, well, humankind. Can I get a intelligence roll from everybody at that statement, please? And she says, so if you...
I'm not intelligent.
Let me back up a little bit. I am raising an army. It has a job. Its job is to subdue the elves. If you can get them on the negotiating table to ally with me so that I do not have to purge them in a war of conquest, or purge their leaders, rather. I do not care about purging their people. Their people are wonderful for the most part. Then I can supply you with an army. It would be the army that was going to go kick some elf teeth in. 21 is good enough. Striggs, you caught her say, like, split the man and then human. You don't think she's talking about humans in, like, the way she phrased that, you don't think she's talking about people like Holocall. She seems to be grouping, like...
Yeah, as in the city, right? Like, the people in the city as, like, one people's...
Think broader than that. The human in that case, like, included her as a half-elf.
Right. So that's basically everyone on the continent who is, like, in the civilized world, not, like, separated from other groups and stuff, just trading with each other.
There you go. Grunthos.
But elves are out of that, right?
No. She, like, the implication was the two elves in the room were included in her statement as well.
Right, but not the elves that she wants to raise an army for.
The implication is they do not agree with her on everybody who is human. Or, you know, valid as a people. So, you can take, if you are willing to take your fancy flying ship or a teleportation pad or any number of ways you can get to the Lakshank Forest and convince them to come to the negotiation table, then perhaps I will have an army for you.
So, might be a little bit of an intruding question, but what is the nature of this conflict between the two of you? Because it might help us to make sure that that we don't, like, upset them or anything beforehand.
They do not see the peoples of this earth, this land, this world as peoples except for their own. I intend to enlighten them through my many years of life that a human is as people as a elf, as anything. I don't know what you need to do to convince them that this is the case. They are much less bigots than they were when I was the head of their armies, but their leaders are every bit as bigot as they can be. I would suggest assassination, but assassination is horribly destabilizing and civil wars are unfun.
Haven't you ever like thought of when you were back as a spy master to just send them off some of your spies to breed doubt in the people of the villages instead of just going straight to the top? I assume you would have.
She kind of sighs heavily. I do not know if it's my new life that I was granted, or if it was a thing in me that always existed but was subdued. I have always been, or I have been, at least since I took this form, a stability bringer, a law bringer, someone who does not like to see brother fighting brother, sister fighting mother.
I'm not even suggesting that. I'm just more saying like maybe we can get them to join the regular humans and then work our way in, so everyone will start trading with each other and be dependent on each other, and thus get our way into their capital, so they don't have a choice to accept or well
Perhaps.
face their own people. I guess if that's what you mean. But I mean, you're trying to do assassination. I think that's even a little bit weirder. It's like they don't even get the choice.
Don't like assassination.
Yeah, there you go.
I do. When I first moved to Kartuk and became their spy master, it was the accepted way of dealing with problems. And I found out quickly after killing a few people that the problems persisted past the people. You cannot solve a problem by murdering a couple people, at least not in the long term.
That's kind of what I'm suggesting, right?
And unless you can murder them and replace them by your own.
Oh yeah, but destabilization. There you go.
When you're looking at time frames of 50 years or 100 years, you have to make sure people understand the changes that are happening around them. I don't know. You have an elf. You have two elves in amongst you, and various other races. Perhaps you can be more convincing than my people have been. At least to get them to stand down, because I know they are raising an army. They see the instability that Convergence is having after Anya left. They sense it. They are raising their own army, and I think they wish to liberate that city and that nation from Kartuk, which would bring an amazing amount of trouble.
Do I know anything about Convergence before I left for the party?
Yes, you lived there, right? So a while ago. Time frames. Let's see. And there was in the 18th of Carnelian of the year 6512, so what, a little more than a year ago? 6513, around a year ago. There was a, I guess, terrorist attack on the new train station that had opened up. Before that, you had seen, like, in amongst the city guards, there were footmen's not the right term, men-at-arms, with brass and green like colors on them, and working like very close in with the city guards. Shortly after that, Not like maybe a couple, maybe within a month or two after that, the guardsmen, not guardsmen, men at arms,
The Minotaur.
basically left the city, and there was a kind of before they left, or at least before the terrorist attack, there was kind of a unnaturally calmness about the city, that just never quite felt right, but you could never put your finger on what it was. And after the Men-at-Arms left, the calmness, or shortly before they left even, the calmness kind of went away, and the kind of simmering dissatisfaction with Kartuk, that had always been there, came more to the surface. Your friends in the party know a little bit more about that than you do, although I don't know if you've talked to them enough for them to know that they do know more. But that's something you definitely would have known having been in Convergence. So there is a kind of a simmering dissatisfaction, but it's also muted by like increased wealth, increased standard of living, all that sort of thing since Kartuk took over. So like some of the old timers, people who were either in charge or at least old enough to not remember, people who have nostalgia for the 20-ish years ago before Kartuk took Convergence over, are definitely like in bars, upset, drinking, talking about how the city was better beforehand. And the like younger people, the worker class, that sort of thing, have mostly like accepted that Kartuk is better than, like, the train line is there because of Kartuk, and there's a bunch of more industry there and a bunch more magic there.
Got it.
But
Thanks.
from what Lai is saying, basically she has information that the elves in the Lokshank Forest know about this kind of simmering unrest in Convergence, and plan on using that to take a chunk out of the Empire of Kartuk. And she's raising an army basically to kick their teeth in back into, or rather, she is causing those who raise an army in Kartuk to look there.
Yeah. Got it. Well, I guess I'll talk to the guys and girl. Do we have a girl? No.
No.
Okay. Well, I guess we could take a try talking to them, right?
Yes. Also, figure out why I'm assuming the undead want you so badly because you're plotting against their leader. Though I don't know how they tracked you down to Kartuk, but mayhaps you should look at ways to prevent yourselves from being tracked again, because while the zombie that left his hand in my foyer is not too big of a problem, the necromancer / whatever he is in the south has a lot more powerful undead friends than they.
He's a lich.
Lich, yes. He was a necromancer. Now he's a lich. Goody.
Gathering, you've heard of Abu Alpha.
Sorry, Brentos, go ahead.
I'm just say gathering, since you're that old and you've heard or met the great savant Seville, you also maybe heard about Abu Al-Fahad?
She nods like somberly at you. Yes, I watched his rise in the south and could do nothing about it. I had more important things like conquering and stabilizing a continent to deal with.
Now's your chance to do something about him.
Fair enough, small dragonling. I don't think I caught your names. I mean, I have your names here, but she stands up, like she stops leaning against the thing, offers her hand. I am Lephalis, formerly elf.
I'll raise
I
up.
am Gruntos, kobold.
I raise
I
up my
am-
hand, and I look at her up in the eyes, looking up, and say, "Hi, I'm Strig. You probably know more about me than myself, but
She chuckles.
I am Virgeros, currently High Elf.
I mean, not that high.
You are-
That's his job. She kind of motions at Earth.
True.
You may call me Earth.
That's an interesting turn of phrase.
And I am Moloch.
Very well, Sonderling Inc., as you have taken to calling yourself. Bring me peace with the elves, at least for long enough that my army is not needed, and I will bring you an army. Also, please stop bringing undead into my city.
it's not like you're trying."
I would suggest rings of mind shielding or similar.
Is there a shop in the city that we can ask for something like that?
She kind of like rubs the bridge of her nose.
Or
I
could you supply them?
will find you I will find you them if you will do this for me. Oh, and your ship? At least if you make a good faith effort at doing what I ask, you shouldn't find any legal troubles with your legitimately salvaged ship. I may not have the fingers in every pie anymore, but I have my fingers in every pie.
Interesting.
Interesting choice of words.
We're definitely want to try, and I think looking at the rest of the party.
Oh,
Or do you have other matters
also,
to attend to?
if you see Magda again, tell her to stop putting my name in the mouths of adventurers. You guys are annoying as all get out.
Well,
You think
thank you for the
adventurers are annoying?
I do. She gives you a look. All right. Follow me. We have some undead to take care of. Maybe this will be fun. And so you guys have been here for probably how long have we been streaming? An hour?
An hour and 20 minutes.
Probably because just game time is a little weird compared to actual real life time. Probably about an hour. She goes, "Come on, follow me," and she goes into like there's a little jut out of this room. She opens the door. There is a 15 foot by 15 foot, probably actually 10 foot by 10 foot room. In the center on a pillar in this room, there is a hand that is got not quite the Vulcan like. So you have the it's a marble hand the 3 fingers, the thumb and first 2 fingers are like the same, they're like stone. And then the ring finger is separate, and then there's the pinky finger separate from that. And that ring that you guys saw earlier, that she put on to be here, she takes it and drops it, like after everybody's in the room with her. She takes it and drops it onto the hand, and you guys find yourself back in the inn, and like see her tuck the ring into like a pocket. There is a dead zombie at the end of this hallway. You're pretty sure that is what happened to Horgold, who didn't come along with you guys. Appears to have been out of the activation range of this thing. And she kind of looks at all of you. There's like a general hue and cry out in the street below. She kind of looks at all you, says, "Best of luck. My army will be available my army will be available if my people tell me that it should be." And she vanishes into thin air. Arcana would be what you would know to do to figure out what spell she just cast.
Oh, God.
Success.
Vergeros, she just vanished into thin air. Earth, and Striggs, she cast a greater invisibility.
Interesting.
I'm not paying attention. I'm into the room and throwing on the armor and gear I previously took.
Yeah, that's me too.
Vergeros, you can see the invisibility, so you see her, like, she casts it, you cast see invisibility, and you can see her like step, shadow step is the proper term. So she steps into his shadow and either dimension doors or uses the shadow itself to travel some direction.
That was a remarkable woman.
Well, I think we got our. Did we hear a human scream outside?
Oh, you can hear fighting. You can hear people screaming. There's at least 3 zombie corpses. Like, so there's one in the hallway, and then you go down the stairs into the main room. There's a couple more there. You recognize stab wounds from Horgold in amongst them. There are people locked. Like, you can hear people, you can hear people locked into the like kitchen area who aren't fighting. And then out in the street you see the door would be open. You see like a pile of zombies. They're fighting some guards. You see a couple of whites leading the zombies, and you see a very familiar looking face kind of directing the whites. Everybody who was in the church, give me an intelligence roll. Down here, this place.
I think I was.
Which church?
The one with the dragon, whose name I just forgot.
In the beginning.
Elena.
Is it pumping thing?
Do you mean with the vampire?
There you go. That one.
There, I got it. Okay, already fought the vampire.
Intelligence 14, 11. Yep, that's good enough. Good enough. Strength.
Intelligence, right?
Yep, intelligence.
Ooh, again, nothing.
Virgos, you have a knack. All right, so
I'm just looking up Perjury's intelligence.
Grunthos, Hollock, and Striggs, this vampire is either the vampire you guys fought, or at least he's wearing the same face. Virgeros, you're like, hey, is that a vampire?
Just a second. Its intelligence is the bottom one. I misclicked. It was intelligence save. I clicked.
Ah, okay. Well, with a 10,
Sorry.
you're like, you have the same information as Grunthos and Striggs.
Okay.
All right.
Well, time to fight.
Let's get a city. Nope.
Can I quickly hide under the bed instead?
I don't have a good city for this. Nope. Just go to a new tab. Blank. That one. Ha! Yes. All right. Move the players to the tab that I'm on. That's not the tab that I'm on. Just hold on. Hold, please. Sama sets things up in his brain, but he forgets to set things up in Roll20. All right, so we have zoom, objects and tokens. No, I want to just draw shapes. All right. Zoom out. So we have, this is the building, you guys. Oopsie. Undo that. This, why is it starting in the middle? Snap to, not snap to center. Hold Alt for circle, hold Shift to snap to grid. There we go. Shift. Haha.
Oops, sorry. Misclicked.
So this is the building you guys are currently in. There's a very narrow alleyway. And another building here. And there is another building. Nope. There's another building here. And across the street, there's like a warehouse or something. Pretty big building on this side. We have whole bunch of, there he is. So we have whole bunch of zombies. Oopsie, not drawing shapes anymore. Select. So a whole bunch of zombies, like along here. Like fighting a bunch of guards in the outside. What are you? You go away. You go away. You go away.
Are the zombies on our side or on the other side?
Well,
The
there's
guards are on the right.
the guards look like humans. So there's a white there. There is a white there. There are zombimans. There's just like 5 or 6 along each side in front of the whites. And right in front, nope, not that. Right in front of, really? Hold, please. Salmon knows how to run a game. You. No. There, haha. You. Yeah. Show nameplate. All right, I need to bring him up. So he is like directing the whites and the zombies and stuff. They're the things on the outside, like over here and over here, are fighting Kartuk guards. Like you can see by their uniform, they're Kartuk guards. You're under the impression that when Horgold cleared out the zombies that were in here, that he basically made that building safe for now, at least until the zombies on the outside can take care of the guards. That's not a white, that's a wraith. I won't want a wraith. Oh no, actually we'll have one wraith and we'll have one. There we go. Show nameplate. Save changes. Show nameplate. All right. So we will go ahead and roll initiative.
Where are the doors in the building?
The door is
happening?
right there. Well, you're gonna go probably first. Nope, it's running.
For girls.
That's just okay. There's
oh no! What is happening?
a way to like put
Oh yeah, you should put your yeah. But usually I didn't expect that because then you have to select your token and then roll initiative.
Is there a way to just type it? There's okay. How do I?
Yeah, you can also just manually type it. Yep.
How do I bring up that overlay?
You might have to enable it somewhere in settings. I'm not sure entirely.
All right, I'll just use my old method then. All right. We have vampire. Initiative. Okay, there's a way to do this from the sheet, and I've just forgotten how to do that. Oh, there we go. That. Oh, hey. 24.
What is happening?
Well, he gets to go first.
But it's not fair.
Striggs, 23. Vergeros. VRGEIROS, 22. We have Grunthos at 8. And Hollock at 4. All right. Have they seen the party? 7 roll initiative. You get the impression that they have not perceived you yet.
That makes it maybe easier.
All right.
Probably not.
Hey,
It's a
Oh,
vampire.
there you go.
found it.
Can you
Remove
add everyone?
all turns.
So we can...
Clear it. All right. Right-click a token and choose Add a Turn. Add turn. Vampire. Set to 24. All right. And...
If you add us, we should be able to edit our own.
all right, so add turn. Add turn. Add turn. Really? Add turn. All right.
Oh, because I was typing probably. If we edit things, the UIs do weird things.
Nope, that went wrong.
Just skip the turns.
Yep.
So you get the...
Why is it at 22? At 24?
I was entering my 220.
All right.
Still wrong.
I'll move you. Yeah. Huh. There we go.
Can't you, like, have Zarn's sword button or something? I think there should be. Press enter when you finish.
When you finish typing. Aha! There we go.
Earth has a question in chat.
Earth, would they get an opportunity for a surprise attack? Well, if they haven't perceived you, then, oh, by the way, Earth, you're with everybody right now.
Okay, then let me do a.
Bring in an icon for yourself and roll your initiative.
Do you know how to do that?
Click on the text initiative under your bonus.
Yeah, he rolled initiative. Then just where
But for the icon.
Earth.
Drag his character on the
Yeah.
field.
Drag your character on the field from the
Journal,
journal?
and then on your name, and click on it and hold it and drag it on the field. Then
Yep.
your icon.
Oh, I didn't put in. That's what I forgot.
We'll get a picture for you later.
That doesn't matter. Right now.
Why has my token and name in the turn
Only
thing?
It's only for
You
your own
see
character.
your own name.
Well, technically, it's only for the characters that are in your journal.
Right.
I do not see a way to.
If you have the tab on the top of the page next to the chat tab, you see your characters, right? And under your characters
Yeah.
should be your name thingy. If you drag that onto the field like that, now you see my character. I have two
Okay.
characters. There you go.
There we go. I'm going to add
And you can position it.
show nameplate so I can see who you are. All right. And then we're going to right click on you, add turn, type your number in.
It's on the bottom right now.
Yep. I'm going to learn how to use this, which puts you
Yep.
there. All right, so they don't know you're there. Rawr, they attack a bunch of guards. All right. You see the vampire like ripping somebody's chest out through their back. Next, Striggs, you're up.
Great. Do we see the vampire thing?
Oh yeah, you could. There's like windows in this room. They're like,
Which one is it? Because we cannot see the names above the heads.
oh, you.
under that thing.
I thought I showed nameplate.
The vampire in
Yeah,
the,
but
is
that's
in the
only for
middle.
yourself,
Oh,
sadly.
Vampire is in the middle. The wisps are on the outside.
how do I make it so that it shows for everybody?
There we go. There's a V on top of him now. I don't know if that works that way.
I mean, that works. That's him. That's the vampire. Looks very familiar.
Well, is there someone in front of him or next to him that's
Well,
endangered?
there's a
Or
dead
that's-
person he's ripping the chest out through the back of.
Right. But that's no one else?
No,
But
nobody
then
else around him.
Okay, then.
He's having a lot
Fireball.
of fun. Holy bucket. Okay, fireball. That's fun.
Level 4.
Okay. Dexterity half. He is. Does he has disadvantage to his dexterity roll because he doesn't know you're there. Each creature within a 20-foot radius. Nobody else.
Yeah.
Um.
I'll make sure to, if I can, do it in the middle of the street so it doesn't hit the houses.
Oh, we'll.
I'll try.
5, 10, 15. No, the street's too narrow. You're gonna hit both sides, or you can hit just the far side.
Just hit the far side then, the
All
where it
right.
is.
So dexterity saving throw. Hey,
God damn.
he got a 19. DC 15, so he takes half of that.
Ooh.
So he ducks as the thing explodes and fills this entire area with fire, leaving him with some number of hit points. You did 33, 15, 16 damage.
That's 33 plus 6, so that's 39 technically, and I don't know how you have that.
30, so
do-
39, so 20, 19
19 or-
damage. All right. After Striggs, unless you have a move action you would like to take,
I stay here.
Virtuos, you're up.
I'll make sure that people can move through though, but I'll stay at the edge of that square.
Right, yeah, people can move through.
I'm small.
I have a quick question, Sam.
Yes.
I have a ring of spell storing, which
Yes.
has some spells in there. Can I use them all together or not?
Let me look up how Ring of Spell Storing works.
Depends if the spell stored is one big one or several small ones.
MRING. Ring of Spell Storing. Up to 5 spells levels worth. So you store. Basically, you store up to 5 level 1 spells, but you cast them into the ring at whatever level you choose. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
I've put those in already when
yes.
a long time ago. That I put in 3 magic missile spells in level 1 casts.
Okay, so you would have 3 level 1 casts of magic missile that you can use from it.
And can I use them in one go, or do I only use one?
One spell at a time.
It basically lets you cast the spell as if you cast it, but it doesn't use up your innate like spell slots, I guess.
Okay.
Lets
So
you
if
cast
I use
extra
it,
a day.
I can only use one.
Right. You could use your sorcery points to turn another spell into a reaction, quick action, whatever it's called, and then cast one of the spells out of your ring as well. I would let you do that.
So so one of my sorcery points, or how is it? Two sorcery points.
So I don't remember how many sorcery points it is, but you can use a number of sorcery points to to speed up a spell, and then quicken spell meta magic. There you go. That's what it's called. And then you cast it as
I don't have that. I have careful spell, subtle spell, meta magic.
Yeah, meta magic.
I thought you had all of the meta magic.
Flexible casting. Flexible casting is it? You can use your sorcery points to gain additional spell slots.
You have just certain. I thought you got all of the meta magic, and you just chose how to spend them.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure about that.
I don't remember. Let me look up sorcerer.
Sorry.
It's fine. I'm still learning how to do things.
It's 5e.
Yes.
It's weird.
Spellcasting, spell magic, spells. Font of magic. You just have a font of magic.
Magic options of your choice. You gain another one at 10th and 17th level. So he knows 2 of the meta magic.
There you go.
So which ones do you have?
Subtle spell and careful spell. So I can spend 1 sorcery point to cast it without any somatic or verbal components. And I can, when I cast a spell that forces other creatures to make a saving throw, you can protect some of those creatures from the spell's full force.
Oh, that's awesome, but not very helpful.
Really good.
Not helpful right now.
Right. So if you have a cantrip, or you have a spell that you can cast at reaction speed, I don't know if any of your spells are faster than an action, then you could do 2, I believe. But otherwise, it's just you can cast your spells.
All my spells are 1 action.
Okay.
Most
Well then,
okay.
you have it. You can cast spells.
Yeah, I can cast spells. Yes.
Sorry.
Luckily, I'm going to do a firebolt then.
All right. Firebolt, that'll hit really well. It does 3 damage. No, 6 damage.
6 damage, yeah.
He does not have any. He does have weaknesses. So nothing to fire, which is probably good since this is the second fire attack that hit him. So just go here. All right.
What's the weather like?
The weather outside is frightful. It is full of zombies and undead. Other than that, it's like night, some overhead clouds. Nothing like storms or anything.
Okay.
Earth, your turn. Does that ping you guys or anything when it clicks over to your turn?
It doesn't.
Fair enough.
It's just keep your eyes on that thing.
He knows about you guys now, and he has legendary actions. Okay.
Oh no, not these again.
I'm gonna remember that.
Is it more than 8 hours ago that we talked with the woman with Lefay?
No.
No.
This is moments.
I still have my mage armor then.
Yes, you do.
Ooh, call lightning.
It was 1 hour later when we returned, so
yeah, they've been fighting for an hour here. Storm cloud appears in the sky. Okay. You want to move out into the street when you do that, I believe.
I don't know who you're trying to hit. Yeah.
All right. When you cast a spell, choose a point you can see within range. A bolt of lightning flashes down. Each creature must make a dexterity saving throw. He still hasn't acted, so it is still a disadvantage. Oopsie, that's not saving throw. That one. 22.
+9.
I hit the wrong button. It doesn't count.
No. +9 is the modifier for
Yes.
dex save.
It is.
It's very impressive.
They take half damage.
Yeah.
Okay. So half of 12 is 6. And he now gets to take a legendary action. He can use move, make it strike, or he can bite. Well, he's gonna move. He's gonna move to there. Voop. Vampire. All right.
There you go.
Did I say I hate vampires?
Not recently. Grunthos, you're up. You just saw the vampire get struck by lightning and then like materialize next to Earth and Striggs. Not materialize is not exactly the right term, but yeah, he's moving real fast.
So, I have a question.
Sure.
I'm trying to rocket jump through, basically.
The window?
Well, there's a door in front of you.
I'm trying to get on the other side of the vampire.
Okay.
Via rocket jump. Will the spirit let me do it?
Yes. You can. You gonna try to poke him on the way through?
I'm gonna poke him a lot more when I get there.
Fair enough. You're moving
Is it an
through his square. Make a agility check. Add the +3 from your spear to it. Beat an 11.
11.
Exactly.
That tie goes to you. All right. So you arrive where you want to, rather than where he wants you to. Like he didn't manage to redirect you on the way.
Hunter's Mark Vampire.
Okay, fair enough.
And stabby.
Stibby. Okay.
Is that a free action? The rocket jump thing?
It's a
The
movement.
movement action.
It's a movement action.
Very interesting.
It lets him move 50 feet in a straight line. Up to 50 feet in a straight line.
And I have advantage on attacks
Flanking.
because people are
Flanking.
in melee with him. And flanking and
Melee with him doesn't really matter. It's because someone is right in the opposite direction of you, unless you have like special feet.
No, he's
special feat.
He's a special feat. The 15 will not hit. The 17 will. So you need to roll your, because you said you had advantage. So I only see one roll.
that was one of the attacks. I just did a normal roll.
Oh, just did a
Again.
normal roll twice. Okay, fair enough. So, yeah, that hits.
9 damage.
Total of 9 damage. Okay.
Yeah, the bottom one.
27 is critical. And how much more?
You double your. Usually, the rule in general D&D 5e is double the dice you roll. So instead of 1d6 on the spear attack, it's 2d6, and the Hunter's Mark of 1d6 becomes 2d6 as plus. Oh, you also have fire damage. Well,
So total that for me, please. That was really a lot. So 11, 16, 22,
35.
28,
35 on
35.
top of the first attack.
I already put the first attack, so minus 35. You guys do a lot of damage. All right.
For level 8.
And I growl at him.
A vampire does a lot of damage as well if he hits.
He growls back. Let's see about unarmed strike. So he's gonna growling competition. Yeah, he's gonna hit you since you just hit him so hard. Grunthos, and does a 16 hit.
No.
So you manage to deflect his clawful hand away as he strikes at you. Next, Hollock, you're up.
The door opens to the inside or outside?
The door opens to the inside.
But it's open currently.
It is open.
So which side of Strix is the one I can attack the vampire from? Left or right?
Technically either.
Oh, okay.
The door is just completely swung open.
Yeah.
So I could move here and stab the vampire.
Correct.
Then I will do that twice. Oh, maybe I can do it 4 times because I'm angry. I will use action. Action surge.
Ooh, that'll be lots of stabby. Go for it. That hits.
It would be weird if 27 didn't hit.
Also hits.
It's a lot of damage.
Also hits. Also hits. 18, 38, and 17 more
58.
is what? How much?
73.
73, correct. I counted it too.
So Hollock steps up and stabs the vampire a lot, and the vampire evaporates into a cloud of mist.
Great. That again.
This happened last time as well.
But then he had to go back to his coffin, remember?
Indeed.
So you guys see actually there's a giant storm cloud above his head right now. So it this is way easier than last time. You guys got a good hit or two in. Hollock should get angry. Hollock should get angry
Last
more
time,
often, right?
Last time the whole stream was about killing that vampire.
Yep.
All right. So you see this vampire evaporate and like roll up into the air into this cloud that's in the sky. And yeah, he moves. Well, it's his turn, so he moves his full speed up into the cloud. How high up is the cloud above you, Earth?
100 feet, I think.
I don't think he gets that far.
said-
So he gets about halfway up to the cloud.
10 feet tall, 60-foot radius.
100 feet directly above me.
All right.
Yeah.
So
100
he
feet.
he gets about halfway there. And the Wraith and the White like look back at you. So the Wraith and the White look like they hear the like the person who was talking to them has stopped talking to them. And they looked back at you guys, and the wraith like goes or is incorporeal and like goes into the ground, just down. As soon as it does that, like the zombies it was leading kind of lose their focus, and the guards on this side just start murdering them. Just start taking them apart. The white, much the same, sees the vampire evaporate, and like hits the wall here, which, by the way, there's a small fire in the wall right around here. Small as in half the side of the building is on fire at this moment. And the white hits the wall here, like climbs up it, just claws, like hand claws over feet claws up this wall, and is like to the roof about the same amount. Like he just moving. And that's the end of their turn. So Striggs, you have vampire in mist form above you. You have a white that is running away over here up a burning building. You have a burning building over here, and you have you don't know what happened to the wraith.
So, do I remember if I could hit him with something in his mist form?
It was really hard to make anything stick to him. Magic worked. It's immune to non-magical attacks in its mist form. It's kind of like incorporeal things. And the only, like, reading up on vampires since this happened, radiant damage is the only really effective thing against them, as when they've poofed.
Right. Not that I have radiant damage, so that's great.
How can you see you have how can you see you have radiant damage?
I mean, it says
It'll list it in like the spell effects. Radiant is generally like holy, like paladins and clerics and stuff tend to have it.
Okay.
So, can I use prestidigitation, but instead of a cantrip, use a spell slot to get the fire out on the building in front of us?
It'll take, like, you can put out a little bit of fire with that every round. It'll take a couple rounds to like really suppress it all.
Yeah, I want to use a spell slot though, right, to make it more powerful.
Sure, we'll go with that. That works. So yeah, you can expend prestidigitation. We'll say it burns like all of its use. You'd have to cast again to use prestidigitation again, but yeah, you can put the fire out.
Yeah. Okay. What kind of level spell slot did I need? I have
one.
Level 3, 2, or 1.
Yeah, 1.
Thanks. And that's the end of my turn. I'll walk up a little bit.
All right. Is anybody gonna try to do anything against the undead that are currently running away?
I am going to attack.
All right. So if the answer is yes, we'll just keep in turn order. Vergeros, you're up.
I walk outside.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm using a ice storm on those level 4.
On the vampire?
No, on the
Oh, those guys over there? Okay.
No way.
so you need to do a DC 15 dexterity save.
Okay. Dexterity doesn't get anything special. So he got a 19.
20-foot radius, 40-foot high cylinder, centered on a point.
Yeah. Creature takes 2d8 bludgeoning damage and 4d6 cold damage on a failed save, or half as much damage on a successful one.
So
you gotta roll for that because that roll is not correct. 2d6.
But it's on level 4
which
spell slot.
allows you to get 1 extra d8. Level
So-
4 spell slot, right?
Yeah.
This is the 4th level spell.
Okay, yeah, it's 4th level. So, yeah, I'm just reading up still. So 1d8, half of.
So
Now 2d8 plus 4d6.
yeah. Like if you go 2d8, so total of 10, half of that?
So 6 and 13, half of that.
So 19. So
No, sorry. Wait, yeah,
Add those
6
up
and 13,
and then
19.
19, half of that would be 9. So it is
And cold damage.
right. All right. Okay, that's what that was. You definitely bludgeon it, and like half of the zombies on that side of the street are now dead because
And it's the ground is also
slippery.
difficult terrain.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Neat.
difficult terrain.
Earth, you're up.
I'm going to maintain concentration on the storm
Sure.
and let it strike the lightning again towards the mist of the vampire.
Roll your roll your damage.
Dexterity saving throw.
Can't remember.
So it's maintaining the concentration.
Yeah, you can maintain concentration, no problem,
Unless you get damaged.
unless you get damaged or something, which you didn't.
No, but we still need the attack roll too, no?
Yeah. Do you roll a 2-hit? I thought I rolled a save. Either way, a 19 hits.
3d10.
It's not 2 hits usually.
Yeah.
Spell.
So roll your 3d10. 20. So half of that. Okay. We'll count that as a. Okay. So you definitely hit it. We'll go with that. You're not sure what it did, but you definitely hit it, and the mist is a little less misty. Grunthos.
How tall is the building it's clambering up?
About 30 feet.
Which means I can jump there.
Sure. I'll allow it. You still have an action.
Yeah, just gonna wait and see what the white is doing.
All right. Hollock, you're up.
So the vampire is in the air on over the spot he was before.
Yes, he went straight up.
So I can move outside without any problems.
Correct.
And I will move here. Did I see him going straight up?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I will Eldritch Blast him.
Ooh, okay. Go for it.
Or not?
A 7 will miss.
Oh, okay. Lightning shaft.
Also a 9 will miss.
We have this warlock in our party, which always misses, basically with Eldritch Blast as well.
All right.
It's a curse spell.
Their turn. So vampire continues to float straight up. 100 feet he can get into the cloud. So you guys will lose sight of him in the mist of the cloud that's over Earth's head. unless Earth decides to drop the spell. The white is going this way. Like he's running up. He had difficulty training. He gets about there. He's just booking it up the like side of the building. And the wraith is gone. Striggs.
Is he gone? Can I not see him anymore?
You've lost track of him in the cloud.
Right. The zombies are also all gone.
So as you're like as like the last one's being dispatched and the guards are like hip hip hurrah, hip hip hurrah sort of thing, and like cleaning off weapons and sheathing them and moving toward you guys.
Well, I'll ready a spell to cast called Shatter whenever I can see him again, if I can still see him,
Okay.
and if he's in range. It's at 60 feet. It's probably not.
No,
But-
he's at least 100 feet up at this point.
Just readying it, so if it happens, it happens.
Right.
If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Virtuos.
Seeing that he went straight up for 50 feet, and then a second movement was again 50 feet, he is still straight up, if I reckon correctly.
You can. Well, he went up 60 and then up 60. Well, some 40
60.
plus some amount more.
Okay, I thought it was only he had a movement of 50. Not.
No.
I'm thinking what I can do. I can cast a firebolt straight up
Hope you
where
get
he
lucky.
flew into the sky and hope I get lucky. It's 120 feet range, so I can hit him if he's up.
Roll a d12 hit on a 12.
Nope.
No, you hit the wrong portion of the cloud.
Okay. Can I climb up the building or not? Where Grentos is on?
You don't have a climb speed. So you could try to climb it. It would be a strength check. Actually, Grunthos, do you have a climb speed? Or no, you launched yourself.
But climb speed is normally half movement speed. I think.
Well, it depends. You need to make a strength check.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stand here
Okay.
and keep guard.
Earth, you're up.
Oh, sorry, wrong button.
Wow.
Sorry, I did. If you said something, I didn't catch it.
I said, well.
Oh, then I heard that much.
It looks like he is out of range of everything. Because he went above my cloud.
He went into your cloud, so he is above the bottom of it at the very least.
Well, if he's in the cloud, then it stands to reason I could still hit him one more time with the...
Roll Arcana with disadvantage to see if you can actually hit him and not your friends. With the 6, the lightning shoots down through your cloud and out of it, and you don't think you hit him.
Since it clearly missed, I think I'll let it dissipate in my concentration.
All right. And you guys can't the misty form in the like darkness and night is like you can't see it anymore, even with the clouds gone away. Grunthos.
Stabby stab.
Go for it. $21 hits. No, you don't, Verdros.
15 damage.
Kite. Threat, crit, plus how much damage?
23 and 29.
Yep.
So you stab your spear into this thing's, like, through this thing's chest, and like the fire from your spear basically cauterizes this thing's, like, where his heart would be and his backbone would be, and you kind of like push your spear sideways and just kind of like rip out the side of his chest, and it just collapses in a pile of undead deadness. Smells like
Okay.
burnt, rotten flesh. And the night goes quiet. Other than the guards walking up to you, and one of them, like, they like start walking towards you guys, and you, like, the couple of the guards are like dispatching the remnants of undead, like still moving undead things. And Sergeant walks up and says, "All right, who cast the fireball?" And we'll go ahead and end there. So,
Great.
thank you everybody for watching. It's been great having you here. We'll be back again next weekend. I hope to see you there. Thanks everybody for watching. Bye.